Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report, prime time Saturday night. Damian Nelson and David Hero, and it's time for Be the Booker. Back in after a 7-month hiatus, I think it's been, David Hero.
We've redone my contract.
And Be the Booker is back, and in this segment, what we do is take it to this guy to determine what he would book to happen on the upcoming pay-per-view event. And tomorrow night, it's the Elimination Chamber from Minneapolis' Target Center. And the big main event of the pay-per-view is the chamber match itself. It will be for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The participants: Randy Orton, John Cena, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, nice shirt, Cesaro, and Christian.
Yes.
Randy Orton, of course, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This one will be tricky because two men will start. Every 2 minutes, another man enters, or 90 seconds, whatever it is. Until all participants are in the ring, anybody can pin anyone. The last man standing wins the match.
And that's what I think is going to make this very interesting. I honestly believe one of the first two men should be Daniel Bryan to start the pay-per-view.
To start.
And
so let's say he's one.
Right. And
so Daniel Bryan's number one.
Yes. And maybe have Randy Orton be number two.
Orton two.
Yes. Again, there's that word again. And let those two guys battle the entire match and eliminate Cesaro, Christian, Sheamus, and Cena so that it comes down to Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. And let that crowd be feverishly chanting, yes, only to have Randy Orton somehow cheat to win and defeat Daniel Bryan and retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Let's go a little deeper, though. I don't doubt that that's going to happen, but let's go a little deeper. Not only one man in this match, which could be any of the men, to be honest with you,
right,
has a date at WrestleMania. Nobody else does. What's Sheamus doing? What's Cena doing? What's Cesaro doing? What's Bryan doing at Mania?
Well,
can you get there from this match?
No, you can't get these guys to their Mania matches because they're the last match of the night. But this here will then take Daniel Bryan probably against Triple H at WrestleMania in New Orleans. Randy Orton then has his date with Destiny with Batista. The other four guys, they still have a month and a half to figure out what direction they're going to go with. But they need to make the fans feel like Daniel Bryan has a chance to win the entire night.
Real in water?
Remember when Santino was in the chamber match in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
And he was one of the final guys in there. And everyone thought Santino had that whole Rocky thing.
He could do it. Santino could win this thing.
Yes.
Randy Orton retains the
championship. They are going to break everyone's heart in the Target Center.
And they should, shouldn't they?
Absolutely.
6-man tag team matchup. This is a WrestleMania caliber match, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion. It is the Wyatts going up against the Shield in 6-man tag team competition.
It's very interesting because the Wyatts, they're big guys. They don't have the wrestling technicians the way the Shield does with Ambrose and Rollins. So it's going to be a lot of...
You forgot one.
I didn't forget anybody because Roman Reigns is not a technician. So you got to figure that, what are you doing?
Stand out, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt.
Agreed. There's going to be a lot of motion by Ambrose and Rollins, but I have to believe that the Wyatts need this victory more than the Shield because if they're going to tease the dissension and the breakup of the Shield, it's going to have to start in Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
I like the Wyatts to leave the victors at Elimination Chamber.
You say the Shield loses. Does Dean Ambrose cause the loss? Does some dissension between the members of the Shield cause them to lose the match
and
they beat
you
themselves?
are going to see this foundation crumble at the Chamber.
It's going to be a tremendous matchup. Fans want this.
I think it might be match of the night.
Grudge match. Alberto Del Rio versus Batista.
You don't bring the guy back to lose to Del Rio before he goes into WrestleMania.
And the plan is, at least at this point, Batista will take on the winner of the chamber match itself.
Yes, which will be Randy Orton.
Daniel Bryan could win it. Why not?
He won't win it.
Daniel Bryan, Batista at Mania, that makes Daniel Bryan a star because the fans hate Batista.
No way. They can't do it.
The Intercontinental Championship is on the line as Jack Swagger takes on Big E Langston. Big E Langston, Big E, the champion right now.
This could be another great match. Two big athletic guys. You got to believe Big E is going to be the guy that's going to leave, as the champion again.
Because of his big win from Hall and
I think Jack Swagger is going to give Big E all he can handle.
Tag team championships on the line. The Usos trying to take the titles from the New Age Outlaws. We saw, as we talked about before, the Usos both get an individual win over each member of the Outlaws.
Which usually means the kiss of death. I honestly believe that the Outlaws are going to retain the tag titles. They're going to defeat the Usos. And if the Outlaws will lose the tag belts, it'll be at WrestleMania. And if I'm booking WrestleMania, I'm having the Outlaws in a fatal four-way with the Usos and two other teams.
The stars of the night, tomorrow night at Elimination Chamber, you say Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and who else?
I think Biggie Langston.
Biggie Langston as well.
And let's not forget Cesaro. Should also be showcased.
Just to summarize, folks, tomorrow night Elimination Chamber on pay-per-view. If this guy were booking it, David Hero, the New Age Outlaws would retain their tag team championships. Big E Langston would retain his Intercontinental Championship. Batista would win in his grudge match against Alberto Del Rio. And the Wyatts would defeat the Shield after some shenanigans amongst the Shield, if you will. And Randy Orton retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. If that were to be the case, not much comes out of this pay-per-view tomorrow except stories.
And emotion.
Leading into WrestleMania.
And emotion.
That's Be the Booker, folks. It's time now for this week's Event Center. Let's throw it on over to Linda Kay.